What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 4-game slate on DraftKings. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on DraftKings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. And now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 4-game slate. But first, you guys know we have to go over some Patreon success. Looks like this guy did cash in all of his double-ups and even cash in some GPPs here. We have some more takedown success. This guy's been on absolute fire here in NBA. Got a first-place takedown. We had $64 turned into $168. We had some more SuperDraft success over here. By the way, SuperDraft, if you haven't signed up for SuperDraft, head over to the link in the description. It's a 50% match up to $500. You guys will be giving away all of our favorite free picks here at the very end of our video for NBA, and then another takedown, 25 cents into $100. I can keep going down, guys. More SuperDraft. Looks like SuperDraft is our forte these days. Looks like there's another person here in this contest who almost got a takedown there with them. But nonetheless, let's focus on this NBA 4-game slate. Oh, what's up with that big gray screen here up in the top right? Let me get rid of that. There we go. All right, so 4-game slate, and we have some pending injury news as well as some solidified injury news here. Milwaukee and Atlanta. Milwaukee is pending that information there on Giannis. Giannis is questionable. If he is playing, all these other price tags and all these other players will be very, very expensive. I'm going to advise avoiding all of these Milwaukee Bucks, but if he's out, we're going to be definitely interested in them. Show up for our live stream a little bit later in the day if you guys want to find out who we are exactly interested in for the Milwaukee Bucks. And then with Atlanta, we have Trae Young and also Gallinari questionable. If those guys are ruled out, it's going to be very, very pivotal to jump into these guys. John Collins, Chris Dunn, Hunter, Reddish, and Snell are all out with Atlanta as well. So if those two are added to the injury report, then all aboard the Atlanta train. Should be relatively competitive, assuming Giannis does not play. And I really do like that pace-up spot here for both Atlanta and Milwaukee. They are the second highest over-under on the entire slate. With Golden State, we actually have some solidified injury news here. Kelly Oubre officially out. Same thing with Pascal. We're definitely going to be paying attention to them and honing in on them to see who benefits the most. With Cleveland, Sexton is questionable. If he's ruled out, that will definitely shake things up for Cleveland. With Boston, nothing going on there. Not really too much interest. This is a very low over-under right now at the 212. And with the Lakers, we have AD, Dudley, and LeBron James still out. I do have a little bit of interest there for some GPP options in LA. And then last but not least here, the highest over-under, a 231.5, almost a 232 here for Sacramento versus Phoenix. Bagley and Holmes remain out for Sacramento. Just a little bit of interest there. And then with Phoenix, we have Nader out. Doesn't really impact the picture there. But looking at the injury report and looking over here at the chart, we're gonna go game by game here. Starting with Milwaukee and Atlanta, we're really not going to talk too much about these guys. But if Giannis is ruled out, Chris Middleton, 8.3K, way too cheap. Same thing with Drew Holiday. DiVincenzo, 5.9K is actually very, very cheap. And then Bobby Portis at 6.8K is getting a little too pricey there for my liking. But again, we won't know anything about this team until Giannis is ruled in or out. Same thing with Atlanta. I'm going to just skip over them. You guys are going to have to tune into our live stream a little bit later in the day. I will also pin a post in the YouTube comment section if one of these two guys are ruled out, and then I will give you guys a heads up on who my favorite plays are. But starting with some of the chalk here from Golden State, we actually have a nice bit of value here from Golden State with Looney, 3.8K projected right now, 28 minutes. He's averaging 0.9 fantasy points per minute, comes out to 25.2 fantasy points and a 6.6 point per dollar value here on my sheet. And then with Steph Curry's actually averaging 1.74 fantasy points per minute and a 35.8% usage rate with these guys off the court. That is absolutely insane. Really like him. I think he'll be more of a GPP option just because of this low over-under. And he's getting a little pricey, 10.6K, but he definitely deserves it. A 5.9 point per dollar value. We have him honed in, projected right now, 62.64 points on the slate. The rest of these guys are just going to be GPP options. My two favorite options here are going to be Kevon Looney and also Steph Curry. I consider them both cash viable against the Cleveland Cavs. Cavs. Going over to the Cleveland side, no real interest here. Like I said, Colin Sexton is questionable. If he is ruled out, we're going to be paying attention to guys like Garland, Okoro at $4,100. But other than that, I mean, Dean Wade at $5,100. All these guys are relatively pricey, just GPP options in a pace-up spot here versus Golden State. As you can see, all these point per dollar values are very, very poor for the Cleveland Cavs. Going down to Boston, no real interest here, just GPP options for me. Rob Williams, 5.8K is a little on the cheap side, but again, the Lakers play very good defense, only 109 projected points right now for Boston, so more GPP options. Marcus Smart, 6.1K is a little too cheap. Do like him for GPPs. Same thing with Kemba Walker at 6.8K, but these two superstars here with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, a little too pricey for my liking. Just GPP options here for the Boston Celtics. With the Lakers, I actually have some interest here. Going back and looking at the Lakers with LeBron James, Jared Dudley, and Anthony Davis off the court, Dennis Schroeder's averaging 1.07 fantasy points per minute and a 25.7% usage rate. So I do like him actually. A 5.6 point per dollar value and a discounted price here, 6.3K price tag, but only for GPPs. Same thing with Markieff Morris, 4.8K projected 28 minutes. Do like him for GPPs, but the only guy I really have true interest in is going to be Dennis Schroeder, and I consider him cash viable just because he is averaging that 1.07 fantasy points per minute. But right now they are only projected to score 103 points, which is very concerning. Only if they hit the over do I like some of these Laker players. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Sacramento with Holmes off the court, as well as Bagley. We have some interest here in Hassan Whiteside himself. Right now, he's projected 16 minutes, but he did play 23 last night. If he's going to be playing 20 minutes at 3.4K, going to be one of my favorite value plays on the slate in a pace-up spot here versus Phoenix. Well, not pace-up for Sacramento, but a pace-up spot for Phoenix. But right now, the over-under is at a 231, so definitely have a lot of interest in this game as a whole. But Hassan Whiteside, one of my favorite options just on the entire slate if he does play above 60 minutes, which is what he's projected at here. Harrison Barnes also averaging 0.94 fantasy points per minute, projected 37 minutes, just plays an extreme amount of minutes. GBP option for me in a 5.4 point per dollar value. And then last but not least, De'Aaron Fox at 9.7K. Nobody's going to be touching him at that price tag, but somebody that's playing 37 minutes always going to have true interest in just because of his upside and his possible output. Last but not least, Phoenix, a 13-point favorite. Nobody's going to really touch these guys, but they are in a pace-up spot. So love these guys for GPPs. The amount of value here, if this game does stay close, DeAndre Ayton at 6.7K. Also, Cameron Johnson at 3.4K, projected 21 minutes. Chris Paul, 7.9K. Like, all of these guys are so cheap. Devin Booker in a pace-up spot, a shooter. If these guys can remain competitive, I absolutely love all these Phoenix Suns because of their huge price decreases. Even Mikal Bridges, you can even make an argument for at 33 minutes. So love all these guys for GBPs, but to kind of recap, going to be a ton of value here in Golden State with Kevon Looney and also Steph Curry. Those are my two favorite cash options. Also with Hassan Whiteside at a 6.5 point per dollar value if he does play over 16 minutes. And I do have a little bit of interest here in the Phoenix Suns. Let's go over to some SuperDraft plays. And like I said, guys, if you haven't signed up for SuperDraft, it is free money. So much overlay over there, and the rake percentage is so much lower than DraftKings and also FanDuel. And guys, I'm giving you free plays, so sign up using the link below for a 50% match up to $500. This is a slow drip format. Absolutely love SuperDraft. Probably one of the best DFS platforms out there today. Now let's focus on my favorite plays. Steph Curry right now has a 1.15 times multiplier. This guy simply should not have a multiplier at this point. With that multiplier, he's coming out to a 72.04 point per the projection. De'Aaron Fox, also a 1.3 times multiplier. Love him at a 61.57 point projection. Giannis does not have a point projection, but I heard he's a pretty good player. 1 times projection if he does play. 61.22 points is what we have him projected at. Clint Capella, 1.25 times multiplier. Love him at that 55.01 projection. And then last but not least is going to be Devin Booker here. 1.3 times multiplier at a 54.82 fantasy point projection. So those are my top 5 plays. Again, this will adjust a little bit closer to lock. If you guys want my updated plays here on SuperDraft and also DraftKings, head over to the live stream. We will be going live around 6:30ish, 6 o'clock. So feel free to tune in there. And that will wrap up my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.